what we're going to look at a little bit today, how we got here, and what we're supposed to be doing now that we are here.
San Prabhum, or Spirit House, is the abode in which these lowest spirits rest or live.
Peace is the essence of life. Every life on earth needs peace.
Like nothing can go wrong really, and that I could do anything, even something I don't like to do usually, and it'd be fine, just I'm happy.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Meditation for All, a show which aims to promote an understanding of meditation and Buddhism. Meet us every Sunday morning 4 a.m. Thai time on the DMC channel. I am Sunanpan Ratjan and I will be guiding you through the program. As usual, we will start off our program with Venerable Nicholas Thanisro's talk on various Buddhist concepts. Following last week's edition, today he will review and summarize the 31 different realms of existence in Buddhist cosmology and explain the connection between the quality of mind and the virtue that one must have in order to sustain the mental state of each preferable realm.
But just to revise a little bit what we were talking about last time with our 31 different realms. We talked in Buddhist cosmology about 31 different realms of existence, all the way from nirvana at the top all the way down to the bedrock of hell at the bottom. If you want to summarize these realms into difference of quality, in that those in the sensual realms, that be the various unfortunate realms, the human realm and the heaven realms, their main thing which they survive off, which motivates them, is sensual pleasure. However, if you come up to the 16 form Brahma realms, the main thing which motivates or sustains the life of the beings there is the happiness which arises from the meditation in the form levels. Above that we have again a completely different plane, which is the formless plane, and this is where beings survive off the happiness or joy coming from high levels of awareness from the formless jhanas or meditations. Okay, so those are all spheres of existence. If you look on the other side of the pagoda, then you see the equivalents in terms of experiences which you can have a taste of what it's like to be in those realms without actually having to die to get there. So if you're very good in your meditation, you can use your meditation to explore these realms merely through your inner experience. And we see that the human realm has the human body as its equivalent. The heaven realms have the celestial body as its equivalent. The form Brahma realms have the form absorptions or the form Brahma body as their equivalent. And the formless realms have the formless Brahma body or the formless absorptions as their equivalent. Going further still, we can see that there are underpinning virtues which sustain each of these levels of mental state, which apart from meditation alone, you have to have a degree of purity of lifestyle to support that mental state, which for a human being would be 5 precepts. For beings in the heaven realms, it would be a sense of conscience, where you wouldn't want to do something you knew was bad, even if no one else saw you doing it. What we call fear and shame of evil behaviors. When we talk about, what we've talked about so far is where we go when we die. But something which we haven't addressed yet is where we come from before we're born. Often in the Western world, we think of a child as being like a clean slate, coming into the world without any background, as if they are innocent when they come into the world. Nothing a child could do, they could ever be blamed for. But in Buddhism, we have a different way of looking at it. We say the child of today is not the adult of tomorrow. The child of today is the adult of yesterday. So every child brings with it into the world a past. Okay? So what we were going to look at a little bit today is about how we got here and what we're supposed to be doing now that we are here. Okay? Buddhism, they talk about 4 different modes of birth. In fact, you find it in your morning chanting. With the word, when you spread loving kindness in your morning chanting to all the different beings, it also mentions the 4 different modes of birth of those beings. The first mode of coming into the world is the live birth, or being born from a womb. So mammals, all forms of mammals are born from the womb. In Pali language they're called Jalapucha, and they are produced by sexual reproduction normally, human beings and mammals. Okay. Second form is those which are born from an egg, which are called Andacha in the Pali language. This can include things like chickens, of course, but it also includes reptiles and even some forms of insects, snakes. Again, they reproduce by sexual reproduction. The third category is beings which arise in moisture. Things like larvae which grow in stagnant water. In the Pali language they're called Sansetacha. I'm telling you this because the font in your handout is a little bit dodgy. And reproduction is usually asexual. So one piece of amoeba gives rise to another one, okay? And last but not least, and this is something which science doesn't know about, but which the Lord Buddha talked about, is beings which arise spontaneously, what's known as opapatika. What do we mean by arising spontaneously? Well, they arise without needing parents to have some sort of reproduction to give rise to them. What sort of beings are we referring to here? Normally it's not the sort of beings we can see with the naked eye. But often it will be things like angels, where, as mentioned yesterday, once your spirit leaves your body, then it arises in a new realm, and it doesn't need a mummy angel and a daddy angel to make a baby angel. In heavens of Buddhism, we don't have cherubs, okay? And everyone is born immediately in human form of the age of about 16, and they stay that age until the end of their life by appearances. It's the same in hell. If you end up in hell, then you arise in human form. You don't get to be a baby hell being and you gradually grow up in the hell realms. It doesn't work like that. You arise spontaneously in adult form, and this is called spontaneous arising. you may not believe this immediately. Okay, it's normal, it's not something we can see with the naked eye. But I think if you meditate further and you start to appreciate how mental states can arise within you, even spontaneously in such a way, you see that the nature of the mind is to do this. The mind changes spontaneously. And when mind is your state of existence, then of course your state of existence can appear or disappear just as easily as you can change your mind. When a person arises in the human realm, it's said that this is in fact something which is very rare. You know how rare? You might think, well, there's plenty of people in the world. How many now? 6 billion? Must mean that to be a human being is very, very common. And if you compare the number of human beings with, for example, the number of termites or ants or leaf mold or whatever, you will see that in fact human beings are still in a very small proportion. The number of insects in an Amazon forest, we are like a drop in the ocean compared to these other forms of life, even the ones that we can see with the naked eye. And if you compare the number of beings, even the ones which you can see with your naked eye, to the other realms which we cannot see, then the proportion is even smaller. There are two metaphors which the Buddha used. Let's go for one metaphor first of all. There's a metaphor which the Buddha used for the rarity of taking human birth, and he talked about a blind turtle which once every 100 years would come up to breathe somewhere in the ocean. And in that huge ocean there happens to be a garland floating, one single garland. The chances of the turtle coming up for air and accidentally popping its head through the middle of that garland in the whole wide ocean, that is the chances of being a human being. So the other realms, the other ones of the 31, they are seething with people by proportion, seething with beings. And to be born a human, and it's really quite a short period of time which we're born for as well, only 70 years. Yesterday we didn't talk about the lengths of time you spend in other realms, but in fact this time scale of days and nights in other realms is not equal to that in the human realm either. For example, 1 day and 1 night in the first level of heaven, Jatu Maharajika, is equal to 50 days and 50 nights in the human realm. So it's like the world spins a lot more slowly. In the second level of heaven, 1 day and 1 night is equal to 100 days and 100 nights in the human realm. And it goes like that in exponential. So once you get up to the very high levels, the lengths of days and nights is very long. Not only that, but the lifespans of the beings living in those realms is also much longer as well. So, supposing an angel in the first level of heaven gets to live for 500 heaven years. 500 heaven years is multiplied by 365 of those days, which are 50 days and 50 nights long. So, by the time you're adding up lifespans, it's now of the order of millions of human years. And there's a story in the scriptures about someone who had once been born as a princess in the human realm, and when they passed away they arose in heaven. But even though they were in heaven, they were still very much in love with the prince or whatever in the human realm which they had left behind. So as they were in the heaven realm and picking flowers, suddenly by their will they arose in the human realm again and lived out a full length of life in the human realm, and then went back. They did good deeds again, of course. They ended up back in the same level of heaven that they were in before. And the friend said, "Oh, where have you been? We didn't see you for a few minutes." Well, for that few minutes in the heaven, they have been lived out a whole life in the human realm. And sometimes we like to say that our human lifespan here on earth, we disappear only for 6 hours from the fourth level of heaven. So this 6 hours worth, see how much merit you can get during the 6 hours worth.
Next, on Buddhist culture, you will learn about a misconception regarding spirit houses commonly seen in Thailand. Construction of spirit houses on a premise is often misunderstood as part of the Buddhist practice. It is actually a mixture of animistic beliefs demonstrated by Brahman rituals that blend well within the Buddhist culture. In this edition, you will also see why some take refuge in those unseen spirits.
Always sitting in the eastern, northern, or northeastern area of the house. The spirit house is a tiny house built for the local spirit who survives on that piece of land. It is a spiritual belief, not a belief of Buddhism. When Thai people construct a new house, they build a miniature house sitting on one stilt on their land. This is called San Prapoom, or spirit house. Prapoom comes from the word Pumateva. This is the name of the lowest spirits that exist on the human plane, but in a different dimension. For human eyes, they are invisible. Yet sometimes, humans can sense their presence. It is like the feeling of touching or seeing a ghost. San Prapoom, or spirit house, is the abode in which these lowest spirits rest or live. When a person first steps onto that property, he should show kindness to the spirit, since that area has long been the spirit's home. It is possible that the spirit will be hostile if it assumes that the human is an intruder. Some people believe it is safer to show kindness to the spirit by giving it a beautiful house. Inside the spirit house, there's always a thin piece of wood with a figure painted on it. The figure represents the spirit called Jawet, and the figure of Jawet should be at the center of the spirit house. This signifies the home's ownership. Other members of the house are usually added, such as male and female servants, horses, elephants, and even dancing dolls. All these are for the easy life and pleasure of the owner, and every piece is as small as possible. The Jawet, or the spirit that is assumed to be the owner of the tiny house, needs to be treated with respect as an important being. Flowers and incense sticks are needed to please it. It is believed that incense sticks can convey messages from humans to invisible spirits, and there should be 7 sticks. Incense sticks show recognition for the Jawet. Even if the spirit house is at the lowest angle, it still protects the house and family which lives on the land. The strong confidence people have in this folk belief leads them to build spirit houses. The process of building and placing a spirit house must be handled by an expert because it requires understanding the invisible dimension of the spirits. Their existence is a spiritual matter. It is an animistic belief that has blended in with the Thai folk culture of Thai Buddhism. It is not the way to the absolute truth of Lord Buddha. Certainly, it is not the work or duty of Buddhist monks. Not every Thai Buddhist house has a San Prapum, or spirit house. It depends on the depth of the homeowner's Buddhist faith. Those who strongly believe in Buddhism with an understanding of the Dharma, or the absolute truth of the Lord Buddha, will never put a spirit house in the boundary of their family home. This is because the best path to a life of wealth, good health, and safety comes from being good to parents, family, friends, and society. It is most important to truly remain on this path, the way to enlightenment. Wealth, good health, and safety will characterize all aspects of life by keeping one's mind on the absolute truth of Buddhism.
The sense of contentment is the key to attaining true happiness. Bodily health, mental wealth, and compassion and good friends are factors for happiness. So contentment is the key that will determine our relations to all of these factors. Meditation helps to train our mind to be content with whatever state it achieves. So at the end of the day, you will find yourself enjoying what life has to offer. And now, let us sit and practice meditation with Venerable Somsak Piyasilo.
Peace is the essence of life. Every life on earth needs peace. Even the most cruel, the most aggressive person, he always requires peace, especially inner peace. Welcome everyone back to Meditation for All. This is session 8, part 2. How is your meditation? Have you enjoyed having your inner peace through meditation? Hope you have got some kind of peace inside. Life without peace is the life so troublesome. Why troublesome? Because whenever we lose peace, we lack peace, we have frustration, anxiety and troubles instead. So we should have peace all the time. Otherwise we have the other side of life which is unfavorable to us and to everyone. To gain peace, it is the task or the duty of the mind. Mind is the only thing, the only item in your life that could generate peace. Once you meditate, you know how to get peace. When the mind goes to the center of the body, we gain peace gradually. So in order to have a more perfect life, to live a better life, a happier life, meditation is just the key. Why don't we meditate together again? Hope you understand the basic. But for the newcomer, don't worry. I will spend a little time reviewing the basic so you can enjoy meditation together with the regular meditators. Right. We choose, as before, the best corner in your own place. You might sit on the chair, but if you sit on the chair, you can lean your back a little, but not to bend your back, otherwise it will get hurt. But if you sit on the floor, you should keep your back up straight to be smart, and your spine should be erect in order to enjoy meditation without any interrupting pain. Remember, a cup or a glass of lukewarm water or just a soft drink is a good item just before entering meditation atmosphere. And I suppose by now everyone is quite ready to meditate. Why don't we slowly close the eyes together? We just close the eyes softly, allowing the eyelids just about to touch each other. We don't squeeze the eyelids tight. It will create tension all around the eyes and the whole body. Allow the tensions everywhere around the head, all the muscles around the eyes. Allow them to disappear slowly. Let go all the tensions we may have. The area around the forehead, around the eyes, the cheeks, the jaws. Begin relaxing the body from head to toes. It is like we get dipped into the liquid, the flow water of relaxation. Such stream of relaxation is now taking over our entire body. We relax more and more. Slowly, relaxation takes over every organism of the body of ours. And then we take a good deep breath to freshen up the inner body inside. And on the out breath, release all the heat and all the tensions of the mind. Refresh on the in breath. Relax on the out breath. Refresh and relax again and again. At this, the beginning of meditation time. Refresh and relax. Remember the turning point we have learned together for many times. The turning point is the point where the in-breath starts to become the out-breath. That far end of the in-breath passing the lungs downward into the stomach. Notice the far end, the very end of the in-breath in the abdomen, in the center, middle of the stomach. That is the turning point of the breathing. We shall stay focused right here at this turning point. We can call this the station of peace. We can call this the focal point or the point of focus, just over here in the middle of the body. Softly focus our mind here. We just allow the mind to come here. We call this the home place of the mind. So the mind will come here, will come home to the home place of the mind. At this very center, at this center point, here is the home of the mind. That the mind will stay here, feeling at home. When the mind stays at home, it is even more and more relaxed. We shall spend the moment, the precious moment, allowing the mind to be at home, allowing the mind to relax and be at ease, so the mind will calm down. quietly, gaining more and more tranquility right over here. Stay at home for a little more while. The mind who learns to stay quietly and motionlessly at this turning point in the middle of the abdomen. It is the same moment now that we gain a little more and more peace. Peace now prevails everywhere. Remember, we mentioned the crystal ball for many times. For the beginners, we just learn that the shape of the mind is round. Round like the crystal ball. The crystal ball basically is a symbol of the mind. We get to know, to see, to observe the real shape of the mind together by visualizing, allowing the picture of the crystal ball to appear up here in the center of the body. So the image of the crystal ball pops up still in deep tranquility in the center of the body. So we enjoy the emergence, the appearance of the crystal ball. This is a symbol of the still mind. Still is clear. It is bright and in a sphere form, perfectly round, floating motionlessly inside the body. Now we get in touch with the mind. Stay quietly with the image, the visualized image of the crystal ball. By the other way around, if we feel more comfortable with not imagining anything, we can wait here with the still mind. We can be right here waiting quietly for the real shape of the mind to come. The real shape of the mind, the real body of the mind might come up when we wait for it for long enough. If any of you prefer to stay here quietly without any visualization, just go ahead softly. Stay and be still in the process of stilling the mind. Or if you prefer the visualization of the crystal ball, we can go ahead as well. All is up to you to stay quiet or visualize the crystal ball. As long as the mind remains at peace as long as we feel comfortable with what we feel, we shall never apply any force, but we follow the feeling we enjoy. If you like it, the feeling we like, stay with it. If you like the crystal ball, stay with it. If you like being without the crystal ball, stay without it. All is up to you. That is so easy to follow. And then we stay quietly at this station of peace, either with or without the crystal ball. And the real body of the mind may come at certain point of stillness. Enjoy these minutes together. Now peace happens in the center of the body. Peace has one unique characteristic, even though we cannot touch it physically, but the mind could feel it easily. Peace can expand like in a manner of radiation. Now we expand peace outward in all directions. So starting from the center, from the center of the crystal ball, at the very tiny spot inside, peace begins to expand. The manner of expansion, we could feel like the crystal ball starts to grow bigger. The crystal ball grows bigger and bigger and bigger to all directions until it is outside the body, covering us in the middle. We are now sitting peacefully in the middle of the big crystal ball. This is the process of sharing. We start to share inner peace to the outer environment, including people, animal, and all beings. So sharing continues. The crystal ball, the sphere of it, is growing much more bigger and bigger endlessly outwards until it touches the horizon 360 degrees. Let the process of sharing continue endlessly to everywhere, to the atmosphere above and below, to all the universe and to everywhere of the galaxies and so on. But the focal point of the mind is always in the center of the body, and the mind is always here at home. We can see that peace could be generated by ourselves. Only the mind the meditative mind especially can create peace. The first person to enjoy the benefits of peace is I, myself. It is you, yourself. Why wait for peace from other people? Why don't you create peace by yourself? And then we can share, give away peace to everybody else, to all beings, everywhere. And time is about to end. Meditation is about to end. We make sure the mind is always staying in the center of the body. And peace is continuously being created always. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are ready, you can count down from 3 to 0 in order to open up slowly. How is your meditation? How is your peace that you create by yourself? Remember, every time we do meditation, we just move the wheel of peace to be moving to go to everywhere. And this is the beginning of world peace from the center of the body of an individual like us. Enjoy meditation until we meet again next time. Have a good time. สวัสดี
Gabrielle Link from British Columbia, Canada, has no previous religious background. She found interest in learning about meditation and Buddhism and joined the Midway Meditation Retreat held in Chiang Mai. Listen to the technique of keeping her mind still and some of her good meditation experiences, as well as the feeling that she gets after meditating, the feeling of becoming a better person and that nothing can go wrong. Meet her in our interview session with Jinda Limsakun.
Swadikap, I'm Jinda Limsakun. I'm at Suan Phet Keo, Chiang Mai. And now we are having an interview session with one of our participants in the 5th Midway Meditation Retreat. Swadikap.
Sawadika.
Could you please introduce yourself?
My name is Gabrielle Link, and I'm 18 years old, and I'm from British Columbia, Canada. I have no previous religious background, really, but I have attended some church group sessions with friends of mine in the past.
And what are you doing right now?
Right now, I'm going to be a student next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you just
Canada.
graduated?
I graduated this June.
Okay. And what brings you to the meditation?
Well, I've always been kind of interested in meditation, and coming to Thailand, I thought it would be a perfect chance to dedicate some time to learning more about meditation and Buddhism.
Mm-hmm. And do you get to learn?
Yes, I've learned a lot while I've been here. The classes are very good, and the meditation classes.
Mm-hmm. And what's your meditation technique?
Well, I start by finding a relaxing position for my body, and I make sure that there's nothing, no itches or no clothing that's too tight or anything like that. And then I start to clear my mind and relax my body. And so when I'm fully relaxed, then I focus on my breathing for a little while, and I find that clears my mind.
Did you use any mantra?
Sometimes when I have too many thoughts in my breathing, I just can't get them all out, then I use the Sama Aharam mantra, and that works.
So you are saying that your technique is to keep your mind stand still by using the mantra sometimes.
Yes, and also I use visualizations. I visualize the top of a waterfall, and when a thought starts to come to my mind, I gently push it over the top, and then it just goes down, and I don't completely think about it.
And what is the best meditation experience here?
The best one was yesterday, and I was very relaxed, and I wasn't sleepy, but I was just right on that line between consciousness and sleepiness, and it felt like my body could expand from the center, and I could grow really large. At first, I just grew to the size of the meditation room, and then I wanted to try more, so I grew to the size of, I was up in the trees, and then I even grew more, and I pictured that the world was in front of me like this, and I was sitting in my pose, and it was just kind of turning in front of me, and that was the best one so far, for sure.
In your meditation, do you see it clearly?
Do I see...
Yeah, in the mind.
Do I see what I visualize clearly? Yeah, yes. Unless if I'm not completely relaxed or I don't have my mind free of thoughts, then it's a little more foggy. But yeah.
Okay, and after meditation, how do you feel for the rest of the day?
That's one of the best parts. I feel like nothing can go wrong really, and that I could do anything, even something I don't like to do usually, and it'd be fine. Just, I'm calm and happy.
And any positive changes after you get to know about meditation?
Definitely. Or little things that would used to make me angry or I'd get annoyed at, I just think how silly that is to be annoyed with that. So I think I'm a better person.
Okay, and what do you want to tell the others who are meditating, the beginners?
I would tell them that even if you have a meditation session that you don't find goes well, or you can't clear your mind or something like that, for the whole of meditating, it helps. Even the bad experience, or not bad, but all the experiences help.
And what would you want to tell the most venerable Dhammachayo, the abbot of Dhammakaya Foundation?
Even though I've never met him, I would like to say thank you for making this retreat possible, and I think it is helping a lot of people learn about meditation and the history of Buddhism, and it'll help a lot of people through their lives and to have better lives.
And what do you think is about the benefit of the meditation?
I think it helps people clear their minds, and they're able to think clear thoughts, and their mind won't be clouded with thoughts of material things when they're making decisions. That won't be their only concern, like what can I gain from this?
Yes.
They will think about how can I help more people instead of just their own personal.
And what are your dreams and what are your hopes in life?
I would like to next year attend university in Alberta, the province next to mine, and I'd like to study sciences and become a doctor. If you are a doctor, and do you think you're gonna use the meditation to help the patients also somehow? I think that suggesting meditation would help a lot of people, or people who just think they're more mentally sick than physically sick, and they think they have these diseases kind of because they feel that there's something wrong with them, and suggesting meditation would be a good idea.
Okay. And in your opinion, do you have any obstacles in life?
One obstacle was deciding to do that, to go to university in sciences, because my mother is also a doctor, so sometimes it seems like that's just what I want to do because that's what she did. And so to overcome this, I'm traveling and thinking about if this is what I really want to do. Yeah.
And about the word inner happiness, what do you think about it?
I think that I have experienced inner happiness through meditation. I'm not sure I knew what inner happiness was as much before I started meditating.
And is it different from the worldly happiness, the entertainment that you have experienced?
It's a lot different from the worldly happiness. Or that's what it is. It's worldly happiness, and this is inner happiness. You're just experiencing things that will not be there forever. It's just, you see something and you're like, oh, that makes me happy, but then it's gone. But the inner happiness you carry with you everywhere. And yeah, it's the difference.
Okay. And how do you like the environment here in Suan Phet Kyaw?
It is amazing. It's so different from the rest of Thailand also. The pine trees here, it makes for a very interesting the view. The view is good, and I found that everyone is very nice, and it's not, I had no reason to be shy or not want to speak or ask questions at all. Mm-hmm. And I think the schedule is very good. You're waking up at 5. It is difficult, but I understand how it helps.
Mm-hmm. And do you have any problem with sleeping in a tent? No,
I like sleeping in the tent. It makes it feel even more like something different. You're coming here to do this. You're sleeping in somewhere different than you usually do, and it all comes together.
Yeah. If you have a chance next time, would you come back here again?
I was thinking of maybe even coming back this time after I'm done my trip in a couple months, but we'll see. So it's definitely a possibility, even this year, coming back.
Okay, and now what would you like to say? Would you like to say something to the audience at home who are watching the DMC? I would like to say that even if you've never tried meditating and you have a busy schedule, or you've never even thought about it, that you should try it, because it's not only for monks like you might think. It's for everyone, and all it takes is a couple minutes out of your day, and it can really change you for the better. Okay. Thank you very much. Nice to have a good conversation with you. Thank you. ขอบคุณค่ะ
That's it for today. I hope you have enjoyed watching our show as much as we have enjoyed making it for you. Hope to see you again next Sunday. Until then, goodbye. สวัสดีค่ะ